This is something it's impromptu, so it's
Very
more of an
impromptu.
idea. So I don't know that this could just be a recording. If not, then it's not a recording, and I'm sorry that so I'm off the cuff. Anyway, this is I was telling you that sometimes you'll have this conclusion that you'll come to, about something,
Mm-hmm.
about some issue that's important to you. Let's say you'll come to a conclusion that I'm going to actually use the example I was talking about, that somebody should not hit another person, right? And
Yeah.
so maybe somebody hit you or abused you in your life, and you've concluded it's not proper behavior. And so you go to somebody else, and this person is somebody that you care about and you like, but the person also has a history of having hit someone, and you know that. Okay, even though they won't acknowledge it, and they pretend like it's not an issue, it's a non-issue issue, and you know it. Okay, and probably they know it too, but they're just like, I don't know, they've convinced themselves through some illogical conclusions that they are not
Doing
people
right.
that commit domestic violence. Okay, because that's how human beings function. We make excuses and stuff when things are incongruent to make them congruent. We're like, yeah, we're good. It wasn't domestic violence, man. It was more like I had a traumatic response when I went off and ape shit. But actually, you actually went off. You were ape shit. There's something wrong, but it's your issue if you're doing it. So anyway, the hypothetical person, as you can tell, is not real or based on anything. So, yeah, Sarah's laughing because she knows me. So, you're sitting there though, and you're talking to said person, imaginary person that is not real, and you're like, so I made this conclusion that that's not right. That's said abuse that happened to me, and they're like, yeah, it wasn't right. And you for a second go like this. Because I didn't say this, or did I say it yet, Sarah? Did I
Not
explain
yet.
it? Okay. He is a domestic abuser. So maybe my idea is crazy that domestic violence is wrong. Somehow you gaslight yourself. You
You start
start to
gaslighting yourself to
convince
protect you.
yourself that you start applying illogical thinking. You're like, because it's crazy, right? Like, obviously domestic violence is wrong. So just because some person who commits it comes in and supports your position doesn't mean that you're wrong, or that it just means somebody who happens to be a perpetrator of domestic violence sees that it's wrong. And yeah, it just gives you more support to that idea that harming another person is wrong. And the fact that they committed it is only a testimony to the fact that human beings are illogical. That's it.
That's
See,
true.
I think if I had used like my logic and my intuition, I don't think a lot of what went on in my life would have gone on. I just think you'd walk away from it. And it's like somebody who reached enlightenment. That's how I feel. Okay, like I
How's
don't. I
that
told Sarah,
actually?
and this is not arrogant. I think if you know me, you know I'm not the arrogant type. You cannot teach what I have going on in school. I don't believe so. I thought, and I think I was ill, ill thinking this. I mean, it's not really the proper word. It's so not academic, is it?
Incorrect, I'm thinking?
Incorrectly thinking that I could go to school and go to sociology and learn what I'm thinking. I don't think so. I think I have kind of a thought pattern that unfortunately hasn't developed a field in the academia. I'm not saying it needs one, perhaps it doesn't. My type of thinking is outside of that. It's influenced by it. And when I get in there, they're like, oh yeah, we want you to come in here. Come on, come get a master's degree and a PhD. Come live here in academia. Please marry us. And I just don't want to marry them. All I wanted was just a bachelor's degree so I could get out of there and put two letters after my name. That's it. Okay, if you guys don't think that, that's all it ever was about. And that way I can go, Father, I got a bachelor's degree. See, I did it. And then go write or go make money or go whatever. I don't know what I was going to do after that. I never really got that far. I used to have a plan way a long time ago, but that was not a good plan. And that wasn't a good plan to try to be a social worker, to be a therapist. Oh, what a nightmare that would have been. I'd be dead. From I can't
That would
explain
not be
why,
good.
but it wouldn't be good. And I'd be poor, really, really, really poor, in the whole for my practice. That would have. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare career on fiction on paper. Like if I had to write that, it'd be a disaster at the end of writing out the tragedy of somebody like me. Oh God, I lost track of where I was. Because you know why? Because I got undone. What was I talking about, Sarah? Okay. It might come back to me. But what was the initial topic? Because it doesn't matter.
Talking about how just because someone says something like an action that's wrong, like harming someone is wrong.
Yeah. So
and
you
they
got my
did the
point. No
same
matter what
action,
happened in my meltdown there, because sometimes my mind starts going around, and it'll start like, going from thing to thing to thing to thing, and then it'll end up at a place that I can't explain. And so if that happens, I'm going to leave it because I think people should see people and who they are. Sarah doesn't even remember what I was talking about.
Sometimes I lose track of what you're talking
about. Yeah, she lost track. So, anyway, this, like I said, was kind of off the cuff, but it's important because there's a lot of like the word gaslighting is being used a lot. And sometimes when it's being used, it's like, I don't even know what the person means. Like I sometimes don't even think they know what they mean. They're like, that was gaslighting. And it was maybe like somebody took a left turn wrong. And I was like, I think that's just bad driving. If somebody doesn't signal and they take a left turn in front of us, it's not gaslighting. So the word gaslighting is starting to lose its meaning. But it's also becoming more prominent. But a lot of times we miss what it is. And I think that's like a self-gaslighting moment. Or maybe it's not self fully, but it's definitely can be made worse by yourself. Because,
self-doubt.
By self-doubt, And so you gotta be logical a little bit about this too. I mean, like, if something happens, and unfortunately, it can be really bad. Like I almost want to share the example, but it is definitely, it could be emotionally triggering. I mean, I'll be honest, for me and for somebody listening. So I don't think I'm gonna do it. So I just don't think it's a good idea. Like I think we have to opt sometimes out of sharing stuff, and we have to opt out of getting triggered. So you have to just do the logic on this. Like if you feel like somebody wronged you, they probably did. If somebody else comes in and says that they didn't, that somebody wasn't there, and that somebody probably doesn't even know what happened. Okay? And any judgment or conclusion that they make based on anything that you said is also not worthy of considering much. Because again, they were not there. They did not see what happened. They do not know what happened. And actually, continuing to act like they did is overreaching and it's inappropriate. I never should have allowed it. When I did, it screwed me up. My therapist did it. Somebody close to me did it. And at the end of it, mine screwed me. Somebody getting involved in my business. The best thing is for people to do what somebody in my family said when she was 2. At this point, I'm unwilling to tell who it was because she's old enough that if she hears this, I don't want her to get embarrassed. She said, so-and-so needed to stay out of her effing business. And that's what I think. I think people need to start staying out of other people's business unless they have good and positive information and input. If you don't have a couple of good things to say, maybe skip on that little teeny tiny bit of negative that you're bringing into people's lives, huh? How about that? That's what I think. And I'm not talking to people listening to me. It's just most of the people in my life that are really close to me, they actually probably have self-doubt once in a while about critical issues. They may not have self-doubt about other issues, but when it comes to maybe crucial moments where they have to make decisions in their relationships, I think it's probably more apt to happen in their relationships. And they're like, did mom do this to me? Or did my sister she just kind of do this to me? Or did my brother do that? These are actually all random things that I'm grabbing. Or I'm going to do it just so you know that it is really random. Oh, did my niece or did my nephew do this? Or did my grandkid do this? Or because I don't even have grandkids. Spouse, yeah, whatever. But the closer that person is to you, so the longer they've known you, the more they've gotten in, the more they have the ability to kind of make you doubt. That doesn't make them right either. We are used to giving people a lot of credit. I think the people that are listening to me are used to giving other people credit over themselves. And it's annoying. Yep, I think just about everyone I know. Anyway, I hope that this was interesting, and I might actually post it. If I did, I'm not sure what episode it would be. It might just be called, like, maybe what do you call it, like an off episode, like, oh, I don't know what to call that, like a wacky episode or
Special.
special episode or something like that. Just sort of, I don't know, food for thought type thing. Because I can't always, and even then, I'm not going to be at my best. Like, you're going to hear cognitive delay. You're going to see me forget what I'm talking about, partially because I'm having to use marijuana because of everything going on, and partially just because I just forget. Yeah, I wish it was live.
Yeah.
I wish it was popular enough that people would listen so they could remind. I've had to remind
If we
people.
get enough people following the channel, we could probably do lives if anyone is interested.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping. We'll stop this now because in case this did become popular, I'd hate to have someone have to listen to me and my daughter talk and ramble for like 20 minutes. Okay, I don't have anything clever to say except for I'll see you in the next episode.